Welcome to Sentinel Talk Show. I'm Dr. Erdal Ozkaya, your host as usual. And today we have Dr. Lopa with us. Welcome to Sentinel Talk Show, Dr. Lopa.
Thank you, and glad to be part of this show.
I know you have tremendous experience, more than 20 years in the industry, multiple roles. So instead of me telling who you are, can you please tell us who you are?
I am an information security and technology risk management professional with 20, as you mentioned, 20 plus years experience. During this phase, I spent with different industry like IT, ITS, banking, financial, automobiles, and I would also say that product, because while working with automobile, I understood a car is a very complex product. So that's my experience. Started with IT, that is the core IT operations, slowly moving to the IT security, information security, technology risk management, and data privacy. I can say literally I grew with the security. Security, that particular term got introduced, during 2000, and that's the time even I have started my career.
Perfect, thank you. I mean, I think we all started like this, right? Like, what was cybersecurity 20 years ago, 25 years ago? It was all new. I remember when we were talking about security, it was all about, Active Directory. Do you got a malware? Okay, format. Do you have a backup? The world shifted a lot. As you said, the car example. I mean, 4 wheels, an engine, it takes you from A location to B location. No, it's not, as you said. I love your analogy. All right. With all this experience, I'm pretty sure you saw lots of things in your professional life. I'm pretty sure you have lots of recommendations to the CISOs, but before that, where do you think we are at the moment? What is the current cybersecurity landscape? You see all the news. I mean, name me a government who did not have a cyber attack. Name me a fortune company or a small business or an individual who did not receive a cyber attack. So, from your opinion, what is the current cybersecurity status?
So when we are looking at the cybersecurity portfolio, right, as a whole, today we cannot say that, this is a startup or this is a big institution, or it's a healthcare, automobile, finance company. We cannot segregate that, basically stating that this is out of, danger. The attacks are back and forth going on. It is a continuous process, and that is become a part of regular life of the security professional, and the attacks have become more and more sophisticated. Same way, there are lots of regulatory requirements, compliance requirements coming back and forth, which is making the ecosystem secure and increasing the challenges for the different sector or organization due to the sectorial compliance requirements, sectorial law. But nowadays, if we look at the entire attack surface become much more smarter and much more unpredictable. But the thing is that when we see that ultimately they exploit the same thing, there are certain set of security hygiene which need to be maintained. If that is not there, there is a missing link that is actually get exploited. Security practice include hygiene and the culture. If you have both tightly bonded with each other and maintain the hygiene based on the technology you are dealing with, I think that is the biggest challenge, because data exploitation is already in place. We don't know what data is where, right? Basically, it's very difficult, because when people start the journey, that is the journey of computer, they start generating the data without classification, without understanding what is the value of the data, dumping them back everywhere, and now classifying them, protecting them. Basically, we focus to protect the data and the infrastructure holding the data, or a very critical infrastructure, having some of the information back and forth. So that is one of the biggest challenge I think we have in current scenario. So it's really, really very challenging environment, but again, nailing down to the things that, you need to have a proper strategy based on the industry you are in and handle it accordingly.
I love what you said. It's all about the strategy. And that's why with Yuri, we wrote like 600-page book about it and 2 versions of it. This is the first thing, and I'm pretty sure most of our listeners will know. Chen Chu, a Chinese war general, not war general, said this 2,500 years ago. To win a war, you have to know yourself, you have to know the enemy, plus you have to also know the attacking ground. But regardless what you know, if you don't have the strategy and the tactics, there is no way that you can win a war. And I think the same thing applies to cybersecurity. You said it so well. Risk management, compliance. Like, again, I used to work for a bank, or before that, I used to consult many banks, which I do currently as well. We have lots of customers, which I go, and some of my customers or some of the peers that I have, they say, oh, you know what, I don't like really GDPR. It's just not it's giving me hassle. I'm like, no, GDPR is actually what you have to do. Remove the GDPR, put any word you like. You said that one thing, data. And GDPR for you as CISO is, hey, where's your data? What are you doing to protect your data? And this is the core thing. As you said, the basics, the attack vectors, same. I mean, you have PhD in the field, I have PhD in the field. And honestly, I spent my years looking at the core course. It's always the same, social engineering, malware. When you say malware, of course, they're from either 0-day or vulnerability. Most of them comes because of misconfiguration or not patching, but it's the same root. When you look at the malware, it comes to the cybersecurity posture where it's like, if I sit like this in a session, our attendees, our watchers not gonna, they're gonna say Erdal has a wrong posture. Same thing applies to cybersecurity. If we can apply the basics, as you mentioned, this will take us just forward. Yes, we will all fall. As long as we can move forward, as long as we can learn from our lessons, and we have a proper strategy or incident response, we will go ahead. Thank you. I love what you said. Okay, I know you spend also lots of time as cloud security advisor. So what do you think as a CISO, the biggest challenges? Like, I still see, even though we are nearly in 2022, many people in the industry said, like, I don't like cloud. Or some governments, they said, no, I don't want any cloud. So what is your advice? Like, should people move to the cloud? Should they put everything to the cloud? Or what is cloud? I mean, not the basic way, security way.
So when it is coming to the cloud, there is a perception that things are not secure. But think from a basic perspective, what you are doing. Is technology is your business, or you have a different set of business to conduct? If technology is not your business and you have a different set of business to conduct, then cloud is the best thing. Because today, to secure your data, you need a best of breed security. When I'm talking about the best of breed security, it's a combination of technology, people, and process. You need the best professional to secure it, right? Because as we know that full with the most sophisticated tool of the world still a full. So you need the people intelligence. So cloud can provide you that. The thing is that you need to know what data you are going to send to the cloud. And accordingly, you need to identify the cloud platform. So are you going for a very secure data in a private platform, or kind of environment where you can share that platform? So it's completely organization will call. But the challenge is what I felt that most of the time people think that this cloud is PCI compliant, this is GDPR compliant, so go and host the data there. That's not the end of your responsibility. Three things are very important. As I say, first thing, what you are going to send into the cloud, important. Secondly, while sending, the state of agreement is very, very important, where you can see the roles and responsibility document. Every cloud hosting company is providing that to you, where they mention that this is the exclusive responsibility of the cloud provider. There is a set of responsibility, which is a shared responsibility. Another is the responsibility of the organization. So understand what is your roles and responsibility on that and take care of that part. Next is, you cannot simply replicate the control, that is the in-house control, to your cloud. So don't go by the control, see the control objective. What control objective? For example, access control, right? It's very important. You can have a better control while you are sending over the cloud, but you need to understand what is the objective of certain control. Accordingly, you check with your cloud provider using that objective and obtain that. Also, you need to be very clear that what kind of agreement you are having with your provider while it is coming to some forensics investigation or the breach notification. Because if something happened, nothing is 100% secure, right? There could be a chance. If something happened, how you are going to handle the situation, this is very important. Plus, do you have a proper insurance? And while doing so, also ensure that you have a proper monitoring capability. It is not a once in a year one report will suffice that. So how you're continuously going to monitor this activity, how you are going to collaborate with your cloud provider, because it's a journey of collaboration. So that is very important. I felt that. And in case something happened, how they are going to support you. Do you have a proper set of document in place and conduct the exercise in time instead of getting a last moment surprise? If you have some of this things and able to solve those puzzles, I think cloud is able to give you the better security in a cost efficient way. Because I don't see there, people are actually adopting cloud only for cost savings. It is increasing the cost efficiency.
Exactly. Just to repeat or to summarize what you said, cloud is a shared responsibility. Cloud, you should not just close your eyes and trust your cloud provider. You should look especially in the fine prints. And then using the cloud in a correct way can help you to save money. But you have to, again, analyze, you have to know your business. You have to analyze your risks. And then you have to utilize the cloud to go to the right posture. Did I forget something? A summary?
No, I think absolutely you have captured it. And very right point. Anything security, what we are doing, we are actually addressing a gap or risk. So risk assessment is very critical. It's not a checklist job. You need to do a thorough risk assessment of the technology and the data which you are going to marry.
And I really want to highlight to all CISOs one thing, especially to new CISOs. I saw this a lot in the industry. They're like, you know what? I'm coming from business. I understand business risk. Or I saw some CISOs, they're coming from hardcore security. They understand IT risk. But honestly, CISO, our biggest CISO challenges is to be able to combine these two. And this is what I see. In your eyes, Dr. Lopa, what is the biggest CISO challenges of 2021?
It's a very, the question itself is very challenging. There are multiple challenges.
Challenge within the challenge.
Yes. So every CISO is actually dealing with their own set of challenges, right? The first thing is some CISO is having a chair in board, but it's time to, stabilize that and make it more effective. So every organization is having a huge expectation from the role of CISO, but biggest challenge, the expectation the organization is having, is it clearly communicated? Same way, is CISO is proactive enough to understand that what is the expectation of the organization? Because CISO, you have very clearly captured that point. Technology CISO, business CISO. So CISO is not a technology CISO or business CISO. CISO is actually going to, or actually wearing multiple caps. CISO is a strategy enabler. So, the cybersecurity strategy actually going to enable the entire business. CISO is a governance leader. CISO, I can see CISO as a compliance enabler also. Yes, obviously he or she is a security officer. A security officer, as a security officer, the key responsibility is the execution. He or she is the execution officer who in turn add the value and become a value appreciator. And while doing everything right, you cannot stop the activity. Security is not to stop any activity. It's something defined based on the organizational risk appetite. So you need to handle with the business and see that how that risk can be addressed and business can move forward to achieve the goal. So CISO and the team need to be a innovation catalyst within the organization. So handling all this become a huge challenge. Roll it back to board, it's an evolving field. Apart from, yes, there are challenges, huge challenges related to, cloud and the network vulnerabilities, because they do basic things are same, but the way it is emerging now, it's little different. Handling that, earlier you have a business boundary. Today, that is completely broken. You actually enabling the business to enjoy the boundaryless presence. So securing that boundaryless territory become a big challenge. IoT and vulnerability. IoT is everywhere today, right? So IoT and vulnerability become a challenge because what I can see that, it is a kind of, biggest challenge because it's a combination of ecosystem when you are dealing with the IoTs, RPA. You have your internal infrastructure, you have your cloud, you have your service providers. So enabling that entire security itself is a big challenge. And then mobile e-commerce, data theft and fraud become a huge challenge. So above all, currently everybody is in a remote working mode, and every organization actually looking at the merit, because there are lots of merit and there is lots of downside also, but everybody needs to balance. Merit is that, I felt that specifically if I look at security earlier, you need to look at a particular marketplace to acquire talent, and we have a huge talent crunch in security field. Today, with this remote working environment, wherever talent is available, you can onboard and utilize. That's a good thing. And considering this, again, compliance is a big challenge, lots of penalty coming out associated with that compliance. But what I would say that, all these challenges having solution, right? And we need to take those challenges. Because of this challenge, it's actually giving us opportunity to contribute back, because this environment itself is dynamic, and people who loves to work in a dynamic environment, this is a good opportunity for them.
Dr. Lopa, I want to go back to your fine example. It's like, isn't it like driving? We have rules. Drive 60 is a 60 zone. If you drive 65, you know you're going to get penalty. Either speed camera or police going to stop you. If the rule is basic. Follow the rules and you will not get fined. Now, back to compliance and fines by the regulators. Don't you think, hey, there are some certain rules, follow the rules, and you will not get fined? Or is it not as simple as I said in traffic? In the traffic, 65, you can set up the car to go exactly in the speed limit. But when it comes to cybersecurity, unfortunately, sometimes hard to control. You might, for example, the SolarWinds hack, which happened early this year. It was so sophisticated that it came to a supply chain attack, which was not seen before. Of course, there were different supply chain attacks before, but this one was more sophisticated. And as a result, you can get fined if you don't comply with the rules. So it's not, when it comes to cybersecurity, it's not black and white as in traffic sometimes. So what is your suggestion on this shortly? You explained very well. So do you think fines are necessary by regulators, or do you think sometimes the fines are unrelated? I can give an example. For example, if you remember the British Airlines hack, they were, the effect was small, but the fine was more than $200 million. So, hey, isn't it way too much, or is it not too much? So what is your opinion on this?
So basically, when it is coming to the regulator and the fine, no comment on the part that it is more or less, right? From a security, if we go by the security terminology and language, I would say it's a deterrent control. It's a deterrent control, help the organization to boost their security portfolio. Basically, the challenge is coming, when it is coming to the regulator. Everybody try to land to the regulatory compliance. So when we are actually running behind the regulatory compliance, it's very, very difficult to achieve it, right? Because you have a state level requirement, you have a geographical level requirement, or there are lots of requirements, and then data is flowing between the countries. It's boundaryless, so it's really, really very complex environment. But if you want to really look at the basic thing, every compliance have a compliance reporting frequency, pattern of reporting, right? When something happened, keep that 20% aside. The 80% thing, what they are looking for are security controls. You can see that what security controls is required, what are the risks they want you to mitigate. Look at them. Do you have those controls in place? Are they effectively working? Are you in position to generate the report the way your regulator or the compliance officers are looking for? If that is fine, you're fine with. And then I think if you have a proper security in place and capable to generate the reports in time, because security ultimate aim is not to generate the report, it's to strengthen and protect your organization, but ensure as a byproduct of effective security, you are able to land to the compliance and generate the report. If these are in place, landing to the compliance is not a problem. But don't look at I need to be GDPR compliant, I need to be a SOC compliant, I need to be a PCI compliant, I need to IDFS compliant. Don't go by that, right? Does that create a kind of huge burden on your mind as well as organization? Look at them. What is the control? Align them, create a map, and go for a customized framework, unified framework, and take it forward. That will help you.
I totally agree with this, and that's why I gave it. Thank you very much. That's why I gave a fun example. If you know the rule is 60, just most of the time they will warn you, and the penalties. Yes, if you drive too fast, you might kill yourself or someone else. So there is a speed camera, and you will slow down, or speed hump. Same applies to the regulations, and honestly, that's what I say. Thank you very much. You explained it very well as usual. All right. I know I can talk with you hours and hours, but as you know, we want to keep the show short, sharp, and crisp. So my last question to you: Global CISO Forum, which you are a member of, and I think you're leading the India chapter for us. So why CISOs or people they want to be cybersecurity professionals, or CIOs, CTOs, everybody is welcome, should join us? What is, benefits, of course, I'm not talking about learning exchange benefits, but why did you join us, and why should people follow you?
So it's more a collaboration. Cybersecurity cannot run in isolation, neither within the organization, neither in the actual actual world, that is in the physical world. We are extending a service or support, if we took that our concept, and try to protect the territory of our business or of our data, but we are virtually connected within a boundaryless world. So it is not only the learning, it is the collaboration, understanding the challenges, and obviously ultimately learning in the sense, it is not only what are the book we are reading or learning, right? That is a different part. It's what we can acquire the knowledge. For example, in a person with 10 years experience may have a 40 years experience. A person with 40 years experience might have just 5 years experience, because having a lack of exposure to understand a product, to understand a environment, always you may not need to reinvent the wheel. If already somebody invented the wheel, take that knowledge. So that is one of the good things. Also, different industries is having different type of challenges, different type of attack prone they are differently. But what will happen, that may have a, you can just see that what kind of impact that is going to have on you. That is a good thing. Also, it helps you to broaden your boundary. And most importantly, grooming the next generation professional. I felt that is very important for the current set of professional, because we are already in a resource crunch, and it is a responsibility for all of us to prepare the world as a safe place for, a cyber safe place, data safe place. And that is one of the most important things we can do through the collaboration.
And this is our philosophy, as you said, and I love what you said. Thank you again. So we are better together. Doesn't matter how many years experience you have, we have things to learn from each other. And more importantly, we are here to share. And the good news is this is the community work, which is not supported by big corporate organizations. Maybe in the future we will have some sponsors, but this is out of the topic. We are here to share our experiences. Sometimes we're going to learn from someone who has maybe 5 days experience, but knows the topic better than us. Maybe that we faced up 20 years ago when we first started our careers. But on the other hand side, they're going to have our combined experience to learn from us as well. So better together. And with this, we're coming to the end, Dr. Lopa. I really want to talk with you more and more and more, but this is like the free food testing in shops. You know, they give you a little sample. If you like it, you can buy the whole package. Dear everybody who's watching the show, so if you want more, we have a globalcisoforum.com website, a mobile app. Come, we're sharing, we're collaborating a lot there, and we're looking forward to see all of us part of this forum. So your last words, Dr. Lopa, what would you like to say?
First of all, thank you for including me in your show. Most importantly, I felt 2 areas we need to focus. One is building up the skilled professional. Second is shift your focus to have a proper security strategy, risk management, as well as the architecture part, and build the security as an embedded component within the architecture itself to cut the vulnerabilities at root.
Thank you very much again, Dr. Lopa. This was Sentinel Talk Show. Dr. Erdal Ozkaya, myself, and in the name of the Global CISO Forum. It was a pleasure that you listened to us so far. And next week, we're looking forward to have a new guest and more importantly, you watching us. Thank you very much. Don't forget globalcisoforum.com. Come and join us.
Thank you. And
Be
namaskar.
safe.